All right, my name is Christopher Terry, CEO of iMarkets Live, and we're going to record a video in our London session discussing how to set up a pattern. So what we're looking at right now is the GBP AUD. We can see that the GBP AUD has been making a downtrending mode right here. That downtrending mode means that every time we bounce, we're looking for a shorting opportunity. Now, since this is a daily chart, we also want to look at the lower time frame. So I'm going to move over and put up an hourly chart. Now I'm using NinjaTrader platform for this, for the fact that it's just a little bit easier to use. And a couple of things I like to look at is the wave that we're currently in terms of the shorting opportunity, what they call a D point. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to look at these different waves and how the market looks and reacts. And we're going to take a look right here. So let me just throw some arrows in here. And we can see the market put a low here, actually put its final low here, then retraced up, then sold off once again, and then made its way back up. And what has formed is what we call a shark pattern. It was designed and developed by Scott Carney several years ago. And this is an XABCD. What we're looking at is this first wave down here. That's the important, let me just get rid of this and get rid of this, okay? Now he had them labeled a little bit different on his charts, but I like to keep things to an XABCD model. And we look at the swing high to swing low, and we also look at the retracement value. I like to look at 38% to 88%. So let's just take a retracement value from here to here. We can see that the retracement went up 38 to 50%. So that starts the model for future work. Now, typically, if you see that right there, this potentially, if it had held here and then turned up, this would have been considered a bat pattern. See that? That would have been that bat pattern. What Scott had looked at was sometimes the market does get that, and I got my golden retriever licking a bowl. Hey, Ronnie, you got a minute? I'm recording a video. So she's drinking. She just had her dinner at 2:30 in the morning. So right here, let me just remove this. Okay, continue to watch me, guys. I'm walking you through this. So market went from high to low, had a retracement up, and then retraced back down right here. Okay, this swing, this is XAB, and the XAB C would be, and I'll show it to you right here, 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 and let me show you what that should be. Okay, we'll get rid of this. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Here, guys, I'm not paying attention to anybody's messages, so if you're typing something in, you're better off waiting until later. Okay, so I'm going to type in the lettering, and this is called the shark pattern. It was developed by Scott Carney, as I said, and it's one of the more popular patterns in the market. It shows up all the time. X, A, B. Now, what I like, and that's purely up to you or somebody else, I like to see this 38 to 62%. I particularly like to see this zone. All right, when you see that type of zone, you tend to get new lows. If it goes past the 62%, if it goes past here, more likely than not, you're not going to get new lows. So 38 to 50, even a 62, you tend to get new lows most of the time, and then that swing up. And him and I had dinner the other night. We were speaking about this. So here's your XABC. A, B, C. This can go from a 113 to a 1618. What's important in market geometry and harmonics, the most important numbers, guys, are 618 and 1.618. This is called, so some people, actually, this is called, phi or phi. I'll give that a second. So it's pronounced phi, or phi. Okay, it sounds like that. It just sounds like that. And these are the most perfect numbers in math and in geometry. The most perfect numbers. They're integrate with so many different. With the number one, you can do all sorts of inverse. I'm not going to get into it. You could derivatives, but when you look at the pyramids and all this nature, it's all tied into the golden ratio, the golden square, for instance. If you take a credit card, anything, they all have this perfect ratios where 1 and then a 1618. So something to look into on your own. I have videos on it. I'm not going to really get too much into it, but as you can see, the 1618 becomes a very, very important number down here. All right, a very, very important number down here. Now on the way up, let me get rid of some of this other stuff. I know I'm going back and forth a little bit because I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay. So we have the, oops, sorry about that. Let me just do it one time. Let me just fix that number. I apologize. Don't worry about selling that right now. Let's just do a little session so I can show you guys what we're looking at. Now the 1618 is an inverse to 618. The 113 is the inverse to what we call an 886. All market geometry. Okay. Then we look up at what we call the 886, and then we extend it out to a 113. I'm going to show you. Just do a 113. So here's a shark pattern. X down to A up to B. B down to C up to D. Now D can come here, or D can extend to the 113 up here. So right now, this is actually falling within the criteria of the shark pattern, right there. That's actually within the criteria of the shark pattern. So the market here is within that area for an opportunity to short the market. Okay, let's take a look at a few other things, what I like to look at, so you understand how I read the market. So we also know that in Elliott wave, you have a 0, 1. Everything's built on waves, guys. When you understand how waves work, it's game over. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can mess with you. Nobody can say, funky indicators. No, I'm not going to knock any other methodology, but at least you know the truth of really what is out there. So sometimes you get a 5 wave, but in a very strongly trending market like you see here. And how you know it's a very strongly trending market, you see the shallow pullbacks, very shallow pullbacks, you sometimes get a 7, okay? A 7th wave. May come down here to 8, may even try to go up to 9, or it may fall in here on 9. So you have two areas where you want to short the market. One is right here, and one is right here. All right, that's your shorting opportunity. So if I was to look to short the market, I would do something like this. We're setting it up right now, GBP, AUD, sell, right? You would sell half, you would sell, or like this, 0.01 or 1 micro per $1,000 in cash, and $1,000 in cash right in here. Okay. You're about to get out. I haven't even got you in yet. Ryan, relax. Relax. So you're selling 1 GBP AUD in here, 1 micro per 1,000 here, and you're selling, right? You sell GBP, sell, so it's sell 0.01 per $1,000 cash. 1 micro lot per $1,000 in an account. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link so you understand, Sonny. So just give me a minute, okay? What we're also going to do is I'm going to put some risk. This is a stop. All right. So your stop loss is here. So you're selling 1 GBP AUD, selling 1 micro lot per $1,000 in cash. You're selling 1 micro lot up here at 1, right? And then here's your stop loss on the trade. So what you have here, and I put 2 different 9s here in case this market wants to pop up again. You have to be willing to let the market come back up before going down. Okay, let me get rid of this. So in terms of targets, let's look at the targets now, okay? Based on this swing here, hold on a second. Based on this swing, let's take a look at the targets. Your area code is 618. Oh my God. So let's take a look at the targets here. All right. You're going to look at 38. Okay, let's just make this black. I'm showing you the shark pattern tonight. Actually, the shark pattern, Scott and I were talking, he likes the 50% level on the shark. We were discussing that earlier. I typically like to use 38 and 60, but you know what? He had some super valid reasons, and here's where your target would be. Okay, and our stop loss is going to be 2.0638. So that, I apologize, people out in the hallway. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. And who through my door himself, the man, Scott Carney. I was just going over the shark pattern here and showing them. Guys, look who's with me right here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, what a blight. Look, check this out. Hold on. Pull it from the craps tables. Hold on. What's up, Scott? What's up? so check this out. He was downstairs. Hold on a second. We're looking at this market here was the GBP AUD, and it's been in a downtrending market. So now we got a reaction back up into the structure here. And I'm just showing them. I laid it out. We're doing actually a. You guys, I'm not sure you can see this on video. You can't, the recording, but you guys that are here live with us, you can see it. So we're showing the structure for the shark pattern that you have here. And just showing them, you know, the whole structure A to B, C, D, and I'm kind of moving things around. Nice. And what we're looking at right here was this wave process up. And I was explaining that in an Elliott wave, it would be a deeper 1 to 2. Yeah. But since there was such strong impulse off the 1618 to the upside, and you had shallow waves, a lot of times you get that 7th wave up, and maybe even a 9th or a lower high and down. So what we're doing is I told them to short 1 micro per thousand here, 1 micro per thousand here, and then put a stop loss up here. Would you suggest that's okay?
Yeah, that 113 is the max limit.
Yeah, and then right down here we got that 50% line for our targets and everything.
Yeah.
So
I like the way you do Elliott wave. You know, you make that really clear, and then you overlay that. I don't do the Elliott wave stuff, but you've really got something here.
So we have a nice little zone. What's up, guys? Guess who I'm hanging out with? Where is he? Where is the video? I don't know. Where'd it go? Hold on a second. There we go.
Hanging out with Ronnie.
Hanging out with Ronnie. I don't know. Where did it go? There we go.
Hey. Yeah,
Where?
I gotta get a T-shirt, man.
Gotta give him an IML T-shirt. I'm gonna get a shark T-shirt, like a shark pattern. That's what we should do, guys. I'm gonna get a shark pattern T-shirt that goes over like the I and the L or something. So all right, I'll take us back off video. How do you get IML shirts? You know, quite honestly, the guy who made them for me made them with my original master distributor, and of course, she had her fingers in the kitty that every time a shirt was bought, she was getting a check. So I had to shut it down. So I have to find somebody new. Everybody, I'm telling you, they go straight to the pocket. No shame. So, yeah, we're going to get shark pattern tattoos. That's it. Jason. Jason, you're in Costa Rica.
Up,
all right, guys, I'm going to take you back on video. So what we got here, guys, is the shark pattern. All right, and let me stop recording that video.